To the top, here I go, think I'm chosen to be the king of rock, think the people have spoken. I can hear the tick-tock of the clock, I'm in motion. So now I'm gonna pop, causing all this commotion.
Kind of wrap up the NFL talk. Like I said, the draft was last week. So I thought it'd be interesting to kind of maybe go around the panel here like we did before the draft, discussing what we wanted the teams to do. What do we think about our teams and what they actually did do in the draft? Were we happy about some of the picks? Not happy about some of their picks? Just what are general thoughts on that?
I'm fine with how New England drafted after the first round. I'm still confused as fuck with the Mac Jones pick.
Do you think Cam Newton would be the future, or do you think that's kind of what they're doing?
No, Cam Newton is not the fucking future in New England.
Well, yeah, I didn't think you.
I still don't know why you would draft a quarterback first round when there's other needs.
It's a good point. And especially like receiver and things like that, they could definitely help at. Yeah,
because Edelman's retired this year.
Did you hear what Tom Brady said about that?
To get a quarterback. I mean,
no.
Yeah, Tom Brady said that he's, or at least he speculated that he's only retiring so he could get out of New England, and then once he's let go, he'll end up like Gronk and go because he wants to come to Tampa Bay. Now I'm not, or at least I heard that. Don't quote me on that.
It's New England light down there in Tampa Bay, so I mean that's fine and dandy.
Yeah,
never say never.
Two players. Tom and Gronk are the only New England players that went down to Tampa.
Yeah, so it's New England light. I mean, who else were the fucking players on New England? I mean,
no. Hold on.
What made that team go?
There was three players because if I'm not mistaken, Antonio Brown was on the New England roster, wasn't he not?
Yeah,
for a day, a week.
Doesn't matter. He still was on the roster, so he was a Patriot.
Well,
he also went to Tampa Bay.
To be fair, a lot of the years the New England Patriots had great success and won Super Bowls. They had good defenses, good run games, all that too. They necessarily weren't big name guys.
Kicker to win the game for him too. So yeah, there's that.
At times. But, I mean, a lot of times they were able to win with names that were not considered superstars.
I'm going to kick a field goal in the last 3 seconds because I played pussy football.
Wow.
Bruh.
I'm sorry, David. It's...
It's nothing fucking new.
Yeah, the Patriots have got this shit.
You dirty fucking cheating pricks. I hate you guys. Fucking inbred Steelers. Jesus Christ. Fucking, you beat my Panthers with a field goal. You fucking...
Oh, that's where this comes from. Okay.
Time out. But y'all remember the time that Pittsburgh beat the shit out of the Panthers? You remember that game?
Wait, who? What? I'm sorry, what did you say?
The game where Pittsburgh ran the score up so high, they ended up taking all their starters out and played their secondary for the last quarter.
You need to give me some proof of that. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I do, because that's the game I will never forget, because that's the game in the fantasy league where Miranda beat the shit out of Chris because she had all Steelers, well, half the Steelers roster was on her team. And they ran this, and she had Christian McCaffrey. She had Christian McCaffrey as her running back in that game, and he was the only one that played football that night. The Panthers got fucking destroyed that game.
Probably not. I want to see a score. Give me a score. Give me a game.
Hold on.
Here we go.
I'll pull it up.
Well, while we're waiting on Brandon to pull it up, Tony, what do you think about the Panthers
too busy
draft?
raping women to go.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I was trying to move on.
Nah. Nah.
No.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the Panthers draft, Tony?
I was happy with the Panthers draft, to be honest. Quite frankly, I don't know why we took so many fucking cornerbacks. We had J.C. Horn, okay, fine and dandy. Let's move on from the quarterback position. I don't think we need fucking spinach we got. But hey, that's all right. I still think we did good. I'm happy. We addressed some needs. I think we will be a force to be reckoned with this year, even with Sam Darnold.
Okay, yeah. I mean, to me, obviously, it depends a lot on Christian McCaffrey, but I think he'll be ready to go. I don't see why. What did he hurt? Do you remember?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What did Christian McCaffrey hurt himself on last year? Like, what was his injury?
I want to say it was an ACL or MCL.
Some sort of leg injury. That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think the offense clearly...
We drafted Chuba Hubbard this year, so, I mean, I think he's going to be the nice replacement for Mike Davis, who went to the Falcons.
Okay.
So the kid's young, he's got wheels on him, and he's he's a stud. So I'm really happy about that.
Okay. Did they do anything to address? Was it Curtis Samuel who left?
We actually did draft 2 wide receivers. I'm trying to think of who they are. They were in the later rounds, but we have somebody who is how they described him as Kerbal as Curtis Samuel-esque.
Oh, okay.
So I can't think of his name. Like I said, it was a late round pick.
But in the same vein of the type of receiver, yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Did you find that, Brandon, or no?
Yep.
Okay.
November 8th, 2018. This is when Miranda was playing fantasy football with us that year. The score was 21-52. I know you remember that game, Tony, because Miranda texted you when it was happening. Matter of fact, you two were talking when it happened, and you stopped talking shit after the second quarter?
It's because I had to go to bed, first of all.
Nah.
To be honest, I probably would have blocked that out of my memory, too. I remember when Jacksonville ran all over Indianapolis. That was horrible. But the Colts won the Super Bowl that year, so I digress. But
that was the year that was that the year that Le'Veon Bell was doing that holdout shit, and then James Conner just kind of took over.
What, with the Colts?
I think you're thinking of
2019. 2018 or 2019?
19.
The year? Okay. I can't remember which year it was that Le'Veon
last
didn't
year
play.
was his first year. 2020 was his first year with the Jets, I believe. And
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
and he didn't do shit.
Isn't he in Kansas City now, though?
Well, he played for the Jets.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And didn't do much there either.
So
A lot of it's probably age with Le'Veon Bell and things like that, too.
Ego.
He's going to... I wouldn't know. But Brandon, what do you think the Steelers or the Colts? Well, you're a Colts fan too. You're more of a Colts fan than Steelers.
Don't say two. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, I forget. I always associate Steelers with you because of your wife Miranda. But
that's fine.
I don't know why. But you're a Colts fan. So what do you think the Colts did?
I mean, we talked about this at work. My concern was along the same line as yours. Our offensive line was what I felt we needed a lot of work in, and we needed some other people to get the ball too. And I told you, as long as we address those issues, I'm perfectly fine with all that. And I didn't get to catch the whole draft because I'm
right.
But I wasn't upset about our first round pick either. So
yeah, I think Kwity Paye is a good because like I said in some of my YouTube videos that we needed edge rushers, and they took 2 edge rushers in the first 2 rounds. If they could be anything close to Freedy and Mathis, I think that's going to be an upgrade because that was one of our weakest spots. But like you mentioned, the offensive left tackle with Costanza retiring, they didn't really address it in the draft until the 7th round. They took a kid, I think out of Penn State. He was a guard, but he has played left tackle, so they could go there. But I also read this week that the Colts were meeting with left tackle Eric Fisher out of Kansas City, who was a former number 1 overall pick, but he is coming off an Achilles injury. I don't know if they're going to sign him or not. It probably all depends on the seriousness of his legit injury. But if he comes in here, that'll be great. If he could be what he once was, he may not play at the beginning of the season. As for the rest of the...
Kwity Paye is going to do good things. Go Blue. Yeah. He's a Michigan boy. He's going to do great things for you guys.
And like I said, when we were talking about this, like, my concerns were a lot of yours because, like, last year we got to see where a lot of our holes were. Well, for the last couple of years, we've seen a lot where our holes have been, and like, but the thing is, like, I know what we can be and where we were before, and I would like to get back to that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But as you mentioned, it kind of flows how Wentz goes.
Yeah, there was a couple of games last year where I was like, you know, if we would have had those improvements then, like, what it was these 2 or 3 games that we lost because of our fucking kicker too.
Last year or the year before that? Because last year we had the rookie, the guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
So I think he did okay for his rookie year. But Adam Vinatieri, yeah, you're right. His last year, even the last few years.
Yeah, Vinatieri's last year was.
I mean, we love Adam Vinatieri, you know, and I'm sure David has respect for him too from the New England days for sure. But there were times where he would miss like 20 to 30 yards, but he would nail the 50-yarders.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but I mean, he would miss those too sometimes. It was just, you never could get a lot of consistency the last few years.
And again, my problem so you remember last year when we drafted Phillip Rivers, and I told you, I wasn't happy with that.
Yeah, a lot of people weren't.
And then he did. There was moments where he shined.
Mm-hmm. There were.
But then a lot of those moments were outweighed by the times he fucking shit. Like,
well, he would overthrow guys and they'd get like intercepted, like way downfield. Which I give him credit for going deep with the ball because I did.
But Either you play to your strengths or you don't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't try to do more than you know you should be or you're capable of doing. And he went to that way too many times.
I just appreciated it because the previous quarterback didn't go as deep as often. But yeah, there are times it's going to burn you if you do let it sail. It's going to happen. But I mean, again, we'll see how Wentz goes. But as for the other picks the Colts took, they took a tight end, which I thought was like, why would you take a tight end at the 4th overall pick for us? It was our 4th round pick. But then I realized, I didn't know this, but they let go of Trey Burton. And they didn't know at the time if they were going to have Mo Alley Cox back. They did finally sign him back, so now we've still got 3 tight ends. But they ended up losing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know we lost Burton. I guess Burton's a free agent now, so they replaced him with that. And from what I understand, he's a pretty good tight end. Got good hands, good speed. The rest of it was just kind of short up the secondary a little bit. They did take a receiver late. I know you talked about maybe wanting to get some weapons.
We could use a couple. Like, I'm not wrong there.
The dude's, you're right. The dude's 6'5". He's a good size. But again, they took him, I think, in the 6th or 7th round. So at that point in the draft, you kind of go, okay, he could be something, he could be nothing. So, but you could say that for every team. But you never know. You could strike gold.
But just like a lot of football, I mean, our quarterback is a staple point of your football team. Like, if he underperformed, then it's just shit. Like, it is what it is.
Well, you did hear the Colts took another quarterback in this draft too, right?
No.
In the sixth round, they took Texas quarterback Sam Ellinger, whose brother just passed away this week too. So our condolences to him. But yeah, they talk like that kid's pretty good. Now there was another 6th round quarterback who ended up being the greatest of all time, and Tom Brady. So you never know. But we've still got
6, pick 199.
But so we got him, and then we still got Jacob Easton that we drafted last year. So we've got a couple of options in case Wentz either gets hurt or is it up to snuff. So we'll see what they do.
He gets hurt is what you mean.
That's possible. But yeah. So with that, I guess we'll move on from the NFL talk tonight. But yeah, that was a good conversation. I like that.
I'm telling you, first game, it's gonna blow an ACL or some shit.
I hope not, man. I mean, I hope good things for Wentz. But like again, it just depends on the injuries. If he can stay upright, I mean, with Reich as the head coach, his offensive coordinator, when he had his best year, I have hope. But yeah, you're right. There is concern there.
Yeah, ready to go, man. Lock and load. That's right. I swear to God that I can drop it, bro. Yeah, I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable.